Alright, and we are live with my reactions and thoughts on the Summoner Showdown 2020 Asian Semi-Finals that you just witnessed a few days ago. So, hi guys, this is Sats here from Singapore. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'm gonna give you my exact thoughts and feelings on what went down when I was actually doing those fights. How nervous I was, how composed I tried to be, how focused I tried to be. So let's get to it. Alright, so these fights are basically broken down into two main phases. So this is going to be good knowledge for you when you watch the European semi-finals that are going to be happening in a few days' time as well. So the main thing for this is it's broken down into the draft phase and the fights phase. Alright, so for the drafts, basically picks and bans are involved in this phase where we have to choose which three attackers to ban per round, and these attackers, or should I say these champions that are banned per round, would be also banned throughout the whole series. They cannot be used as attackers or defenders. So the same thing also goes for the picks. Once you have used an attacker, it cannot be used again in subsequent fights in that very same series. So that's the gist of it. I basically try to keep it as simple as possible. Okay, so the other thing is it's a bit of a mix up because we're all used to basically picking our champions or fighters to counter whatever defenders we're facing, right? So here it's switched up, it's the other way around. Basically, we know, alright, all three of us, all three competitors, we basically know which attackers, yeah, we're gonna be facing. So we try our best to pick the appropriate counters to these defenders in that case. Alright? So yeah, so it's a bit of a switch up. It messes with your mind a little bit, I would say, because of how we're so used to basically countering defenders. But this makes it way, way, way more fun. Okay? So, yeah, that's the gist of it. That's the format for the Summoner Showdown semis for all three regions. So, I went up against, as you saw over there, Anger Danger and Abdu. These two competitors, man oh man oh man, they are simply on another level. I'm sure you saw how they fought. And it was such an honor. It was indeed my pleasure to be part of this Summoner Showdown and to witness their awesome displays of skill. Alright, and I'm so honored to also witness it live. None of it was because what you guys saw was, of course, the edited version. All right, where we basically, yes, it was still live, but basically they cut out the boring parts to, I would say, make it more entertaining for you guys. But what I saw was everything that went on behind the scenes, and that was so amazing in terms of, yeah. Okay, let me get rid of this advertisement first. Okay, this is not an ad placement for me. I in no way receive any income from this ad placement. So yeah, okay. Come on, add close. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, so anyway, all right, no biggie there. The thing is, I was able to. Oh my God! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on! Stupid ad advertisement. Okay. All right. So anyway, okay. So for this first fight over here, basically we are gonna be going, um, choosing our tactics first, our defense tactics. So in this case over here, both of us we went for stubborn. All right, for stubborn. If you guys aren't aware, basically the defender. Okay, if it's a defense hashtag defensive defender, basically he goes indestructible whenever we evade or dex a normal attack or a special attack. So for this, I decided to ban champions like Apocalypse, Sasquatch, and Thing because those are hashtag defensive champions. As for Anger Danger, he went for Arcus Vision. He wanted to ban him. All right, Namor as well as the Poison God Abomination. So all good picks because I can guarantee you, under any circumstances, you wouldn't be wanting to face any of these defenders whatsoever. So anyways, all right, on to the fights right now. This is what we picked. I decided to let me see. For my fight over here, I decided to go for. Let's see, who did we go for? Okay, yeah. For my fight, I decided to go for Havoc. I mean, sorry, Nick Fury, rather. Nick Fury is my attacker, and Anger Danger chose Havoc, which was a perfect counter to Nick Fury because whenever Havoc bleeds, he procs plasma buildups on me. And let's go back and see. I can't really remember. Yeah, okay. To counter Anger Danger's choice of Void, I went for Weapon X Wolverine. So my very intention in picking that particular defender for him was I wanted to give him as tough a fight as possible because I knew basically how Weapon X Wolverine works, how much or should I say how his attacks go unblockable and how often he goes unstoppable as well whenever he goes into Berserker Rage. So hopefully my very intention was that was gonna give him a run for his money. I mean, I was hoping against hope. Fingers crossed, of course, that it was going to be a good fight. So, anyways, I was going up first. My every intention for this particular fight using Havoc, or rather Nick Fury, was to basically not use any attacks that would proc bleed on him. Alright, was feeling quite nervous over here actually because, of course, this was the very first fight that kicked off the Asian semis. And I was trying to, yeah, I was basically telling myself while fighting here, being mindful to not screw up, not screw up, and not screw up. And lo and behold, what happened over there? Oh, the very thing I told myself not to do. I screwed up. Alright, so I tried to salvage the situation as best as I could before I kicked the bucket, tried to do maximum damage to him as you saw there, tried to land one SP2. Fingers crossed, but I wasn't able to land the whole SP2. So I basically managed to do only a wee bit of damage against Havoc. Um, Alright, mistakes were evidently made there, and as you can see, alright, in this replay over here, the beginning of the fight, yes, I proceeded to go into the corner so that I could basically do counters, right, with on his heavies. I was relying on him to hit into my block. All right, I would be taking a little bit of block damage or chip damage, but when he hits into my block, it would also be helping me to push up my power bar and build towards my own SP2 as well. So that was my technique, or that was my approach moving forward. Um, I wanted to, yeah, just do three light hits whenever I baited his heavy to punish it, build up to my own SP2, launch it, push him to his SP3, in fact, and let him kill me because then real Nick Fury would come into play with Fury's Fury, and then I could then go ham one more time with real Nick Fury. And yeah, I mean, if things went well, I could actually, I think, have taken him down to maybe 30% health left, or even killed him if I managed to crit and land, of course, bleeds, which in real Nick Fury mode, that was my very intention, to land some bleeds on Havoc to do maximum damage. But things didn't work out according to plan, as you saw over there. So anyway, what can you do? Alright, so this is one thing. No matter how skilled you are as a player, no matter how prepared you are mentally, how much of a mind map you have in terms of how the fight is gonna be, if your nerves get the better of you and if you're not composed, well, that's it, I would say. So, composure does play a really important part. So, anyways, the second fight over here, okay, after my fight went so poorly against Havoc. Alright, it was Anger Danger's turn to go up against, yeah, Weapon X Wolverine. So the idea here that he was going for, his approach was to basically be wary, cautious of whenever Weapon X Wolverine goes into Berserker Rage mode so that he wouldn't initially hit into him for the first 4 seconds when he's unstoppable, and after that, once the unstoppable wears off, even though throughout the whole of Berserker Rage he is unblockable, main thing is if you can hit into his block and push him into the corner and do intercepts as well, be it shallow evades or yeah, just straight up light intercepts, backdraft intercepts, or even what I'd like to call car intercepts, which means just standing there doing an empty intercept by baiting out the AI's alright reactions, so to speak. So yeah, but I mean this clearly I'm trying to speak on Anger Danger's behalf. I think very clearly since this was the first fight for him as well, nerves were getting the better of him. just like how they got the better of me also. Okay, so yeah, how you want to face Weapon X Wolverine is to basically trigger all those action points so that you can do all those intercepts. So that's the main thing. Okay, so over here, of course, uh, I wouldn't actually have taken that round. I wouldn't have liked to have taken that round. So very reluctantly, I did win that round on um health or damage dealt to the opponent. So that wasn't my best fight. I'm not too proud of it at all. Definitely not too proud of it. But what I'm going to show you right now, we're going to actually digress a bit. I want to show you what I explained or what I mentioned, what I meant by how I actually prepared mentally for that Nick Fury versus Havoc fight to have gone. So this is, check this out, guys. This is how that fight could have and should have gone if I didn't screw it up. All right, check it out. So here it is. This is the fight in question. Hang on. Wait. Sorry. Wrong one. Let me see. Let me see. Let me go back. Okay, all these are the highlight reels, so let me see. Where was it? Okay, technical difficulties here, guys. Technical difficulties. Just give me a moment to sort this out. I just need to find the video in question. Where are you? Ah, here it is. Okay, damn those iPhones. Okay, they don't arrange these videos in order. Okay, so anyway, this was how the fight was supposed to have gone. Alright, a little bit of redemption for Nick Fury. Not for me so much, but for Nick Fury. I want to basically show you how you can use Nick Fury against such a bad matchup and still emerge victorious. So sorry, pardon me. The plan is to push yourself into the corner, let him hit into your blocks. By doing so, you take a bit of hit damage or chip damage, but this allows you to build up to your own SP2 more quickly because don't forget, you're not doing a maximum combo on him. You're only doing 3 non-bleed light attacks on Havoc. But here, release your first SP2. Ideally, you want to push him to SP3 because you want to use his SP3 to not only kill you, but detonate all those plasma buildups on you. So when real Nick Fury comes back, alright, there are no more plasma buildups on him. Same tactic once again. Now you want to go in for, as just before you release your own SP2, you want to go in for a full combo, which is coming up right about now. Maximum bleeds over there, and there you go. That was how the fight was supposed to have gone if everything worked out. But anyways, okay, we go back to the showdown once again. Alright. So continuing. Okay, so for series 2, or rather, still series 1, but for round 2, okay, we were using I really forgot what kind of tactics we were going for this time, but anyways, in terms of the bans, yeah, this time I decided to ban Mojo. Oh yeah, I remember flow tactics. That's right. So this time we decided to ban Mojo, G99, and Magic for me. And as for Anger Danger, he went for. Let's see once again what did he go for. Or rather, he went for. All right, Dormammu, Warlock, and Hyperion. Okay, all the worst flow tactics defenders that one could ever face. So anyways, he decided to go for Quake, which apparently when I first saw this, I was like, what? Quake's gonna be, to my knowledge, I'm quite a Quaker myself. Not the best, of course, but I do know how to use her, and I do use her quite proficiently. So for me myself, I would never have gone for Quake because I was expecting Quake as an attacker to be countered also so easily by yeah, since we know which attackers we're going to be facing to be able to be countered so easily by the defenders that were going to be chosen as attacker counters. So anyways, I decided to go for Iron Man Infinity War because I was aware that his repulsor hits, his first medium attack, that dashing medium would not be evadable. But as you, of course, witnessed the master class that you saw with Quake, whoa, that is what we call the ultimate quaking via reverse quaking, boys. That was simply amazing. I mean, right, when Anger Danger's fight begins with Quake, I'm gonna give you my take on the awesomeness that we saw. Simply awesome. Words alone cannot describe the masterclass that was on display, boys. Yes, yes, indeed. Quake versus Iron Man Infinity War. That was a true masterclass. On camera, alright. You didn't see my jaw drop to the ground, but essentially my jaw just fell to the ground. It rolled all over the place. I had to pick up my jaw from basically the living room after this was all over. That was so epic. I mean, kudos, alright. Maximum power, big it up for my boy, Anger Danger. What you're gonna witness over here, alright, is a quaking masterclass. I mean, he just acts like he doesn't know or he's not confident, but hey, he had this in the bag from the very start. Basically, what Quake was telling Iron Man Infinity War at the start of the fight was "Omae wa mo shinderu," because he was already dead. Okay, so what makes this so amazing for me as a Quake player myself is that reverse quaking basically you can no longer rely on evade, dax, evade, dax, evade, which is what we usually do when we're in a corner like that for conventional quaking. He switches it up, or rather, sorry, he switches it up so that becomes dax, evade, dax. This is why we call it reverse quaking. So the main thing behind it is, all right, what makes this so difficult is because you have to basically retrain and forget everything you know about Quake in terms of what you've learned, how you've learned to use her over the years, and how you usually use her. You have to be mindful that everything basically has to be like opposite. So this is like what I would say even worse than I mean okay, I've used Quake on Delirium before. That's nothing compared to this. This is true delirium quaking, truly delirium quaking, reverse controls, reverse mentality, reverse setup, reversed everything. And just a good tip for any of you wannabe, or should I say, novice quakers out there hoping to become more proficient with her. If you're still learning her right now at this early stage, I would suggest that you study how to do reverse quaking first. Because for people like me, and for established quakers out there as well, it's going to be more difficult for us because we're so used to the normal quaking style. It's basically ingrained in our DNA. So for you, alright, who are just beginning or starting out with using Quake, it's better for you to actually learn reverse quaking so that, yeah, you don't actually have to purposely get rid of the ingrained quaking, normal conventional quaking style that all of us have gotten used to. It's going to be easier for you guys actually to master reverse quaking for those of you who, like I mentioned once again, who are just starting out and trying to learn Quake. So, right, pro tip from me, do try to learn reverse quaking first before you learn how to quake conventionally. Alright, so over there, what happened here? Yeah, very unfortunate at the very end. He triggered his resist and he got parried over there. Yes, all the defenders we face are unique because they are just like AW defenders. They have resist as well. So what you saw was a masterclass there. I mean, let's rewind that once again. Let's take a look at not this part, of course, but wow, the masterclass, the awesomeness, the skill level on display. Truly amazing, truly astounding. All right. Like I said, I'm lost for words. When I was watching this in real time, okay, I was like, what the hell is going on here? This guy's a beast. This guy is basically racking Iron Man Infinity War and he's making him look like a, alright, I'd say like a complete noob, like a complete amateur, like a complete trash can. Alright, this basically made Iron Man Infinity War look like a piece of scrap metal, basically. Alright, worthless piece of scrap metal. Nothing could basically touch Quake. So the only thing is this, yeah, with reverse quaking, sometimes you see him throw out those heavy attacks, right? You need to do that because you're doing dax, evade, dax, evade, dax. So there are times when because you want to end with a dax, you don't want to end with a heavy usually, like how we usually quake. You don't want to end with a heavy because when you hold heavy, if he comes in for a dash attack, you're dead. So you got to do a dax, and this is when Iron Man Infinity War traps you in a corner. If the AI throws a heavy attack, you've got to do two heavies to basically evade those two heavies and push him away with just by launching or releasing that heavy attack. So yeah, see my boy over here, Anger Danger, he was so pleased with the end result. Okay, you can see that the broad grin on his face over there. All right, big it up for him. More power to him. Brilliant fight over there. Amazing stuff that we just saw. All right, so next up. All right, so let's see. Next up is my fight. So over here, yeah, the pressure. What was going through my mind right now? The pressure was on me. I just witnessed something that was beyond amazing. All right, this was one above all, beyond God tier, universal level, ultra instinct, amazing. So the pressure was on me to follow it up with an amazing fight of my own. And once again, this was the first series. I was still pretty beaten up mentally in terms of how I screwed up the. So yeah, it was still weighing on me. My very first fight against Havoc, using Nick Fury. I still hadn't fully recovered mentally, and now they throw this at me. All right, champion versus Professor X. I had to show up or basically go home at this stage, and what I was also mindful of is that I wanted to close out this fight also. The pressure was on because I knew if I could take this fight, I would actually close out this series 2-0. So yeah, so many things were going through my mind, wanting to close out this fight, put it in the bag, lock it in, and also yeah, trying to get out that nonsensical, um, really bad, really, pardon the language, really shit fight against Havoc. So yeah, I let my nerves, my composure failed me at this moment over here. The Professor X fight over there, once again, just like the Nick Fury fight, definitely didn't go to plan. All right, so many things went wrong at that stage. So, anyways, I'm gonna actually digress once again. I'm gonna show you. You're in for a treat this time. I was so beaten up by that. I actually had a game plan in mind on how Professor X was supposed to go against the champion. So here it is, boys. This is how the Professor X fight was supposed to have gone, and you're in for a treat. This is hopefully, all right, this video over here is gonna redeem Prof X a wee bit and show you his damage potential, his utility potential, and how awesome of an attacker he can be. All right, let's check it out. All right. So, this, of course, was done. This Professor X fight was done during the convention clash when we could face the champion boss as many times as we wanted. So basically, at the start of the fight, I tried to go in for those light intercepts at the very beginning, but no biggie. Over here, I basically manipulated champion. The idea is to perform as many normal attacks on him via intercepts so that you can build up your combo meter and hit 20 hits to bring down, all right, his champion charges so that he doesn't go unstoppable that often. And what you just witnessed over there for Professor X, mainly you want to be fighting the champion just like how you would use people like or counters like Doctor Doom. Professor X has got really far-reaching heavies, and what he can do as well, as you saw there, even if you don't manage to land a heavy on the champion after his SP1, what you can rely on is, alright, his recovery time on heavies is really quickly, so you can use that to build up all those channeling charges to 100. That's the main idea here. And also, if you screw up a little bit, no worries, Professor X can proc, just like Abdi more. Alright, all those falters, so it gives you basically a second chance if you screw up. And here the idea was to build to SP3 with 100 channeling charges, and this is where the fun begins, boys. Alright, why do I say the fun begins? You're gonna see. With one SP3 on 100 channeling charges, rather. Alright, you basically power lock the champion. You can basically go ham, build up to, alright, close to another or 2.5 bars of power, release that oh so damaging SP2. Alright, once again, do the very same thing, rinse and repeat, making sure to build up as much combo as possible. Okay, there was saved by that falter, but no biggie. Another unblockable SP2, and there you see, 56 hits. This champion boss is almost down already. So the idea was to do that during the actual fight. All right, that was the whole game plan. But as we saw over there, I screwed up in terms of the backdraft intercepts. A bit of bad luck, but it is what it is. I've just got to accept it. All right, on the day itself, anything can happen. So taking nothing away from anger danger. All right, it is what it is. That was my destiny, and that's how my fight ended up in actuality on the actual day. But yeah, hopefully this video itself shows you the damage and awesome potential that Professor X has and does redeem him ever so slightly, boys. All right, moving on. Okay, so this is the next round for the next set of drafts. Okay, so for the final draft pick, I think we were going for, or we were only left with the defense tactic of protects for this. So usually, okay, playing the what do you call this yeah, all the defense tactics and all the picks and bans phases for the showdown. It's like playing a game of chess, I would say. You've got to be mindful of, all right, picking the right attackers, picking the right defenders, also being mindful of also who you're gonna ban as well. It's really like chess. Why do I say that? Because if you make a wrong move, let's say you ban a wrong attacker or wrong champion, you actually could be shooting yourself in the foot, so to speak. Why? All right. For example, if you ban an attacker or defender that you do not wish to face, but all right, it would actually have been more ideal to leave them selectable so that you yourself could ban another. You know what I mean? Another. All right. Let's say if your opponent had chosen that potentially banned champion instead, and if you had left him selectable, you could actually have used that to your advantage by picking another appropriate or perfect counter. So it's really like chess. Or even you could also have used him yourself if you chose not to ban him. So it's such a high level of strategy here, even in the picks and bans phase, which does, trust me, as you see later on in the next part, it does impact even the fights itself, like whether you're going to win or whether you're going to lose. Like I mentioned, not only skill, not only composure counts, but also your strategy behind this, how good of a chess player you are in terms of the picks and bans as well. Okay, so over here, yeah, I decided to go with Omega Red. I wasn't mindful that, yeah, that what we just witnessed there was, yeah, Anger Danger picked the perfect counter to Omega Red. I was like, Omae wa mo shinderu. Nani? When I saw Sentinel. So I knew that this was a huge mountain to climb, but alright, this was where my, basically, I would say what was going through my mind was I knew it was not a fight that I could win easily or even win at that matter in terms of downing Sentinel, but I wasn't gonna go down without a fight. Basically here, what was um, pushing me on or driving me was my pride. My pride was at stake. I wasn't gonna go out with a whimper. I wasn't just gonna stand there and let Sentinel kill me. No, no, no. I was gonna do my best to save some face at least. I knew that basically this series at this point in time, Anger Danger had it in the bag, and I was, I mean, of course, I had a wee bit, just this much hope that RNG or something would go in my favor in Anger Danger's fight, but yeah. So holding out that small bit, that semblance, that microscopic bit of hope that the one above all will be watching over me. So this is why I decided to try my very best and push, alright, this fight to the limit. Basically, my intention was from the very start just to time out this fight and see how much damage I could do. And hoping against hope that I'd be blessed in terms of Anger Danger's fight after this, that something would go in my favor. Alright? So, yeah. So, this whole fight, I was basically, yeah, being mindful, of course, playing possum with Sentinel, of course, hitting into his block, looking for openings to do normal hit damage. One thing that I could say is that if I could have changed this ever so slightly during the actual fight, I would have, I would say, I would have gone in with more aggressively, maybe push him to his SP2 as well. That's the thing. SP2, I have no problem evading, but I didn't want to screw it up because why? If let's say you try to evade an SP2 and instead uh you block it, for instance, you block any of the hits, especially the missile hits on accident, all right, you're gonna take incinerate damage because at 100 analysis charges, those incinerates do proc on even blocked SP2s. So not only are you gonna take block damage, but incinerates are basically what's gonna kill me. So this was causing me to play more cautiously than I actually intended. So anyways, what I would have done is, yeah, if I could have changed something, but anyway, I think this fight basically at that on that day itself, this fight went as good as it could have gone in terms of, yeah. But what I could have done differently, if you ask me, would be that maybe I could have thrown more SP2s of my own, alright, to do more so-called hit damage, yeah, hit damage, and to not waste so much time on the timer, because SP3s, the animations, they eat up so much time. So I could have done that instead. More SP2s, more normal hits, and maybe even pushed him more to his SP2 so I could get in more hits as well. But I mean, all in all, I did a calculation. Even if I did all that, who am I kidding? I wouldn't have won this fight. I think I would have only gotten him down by an extra 10 to 15%, maybe. That wouldn't have made a difference. Wouldn't have made a difference whatsoever. So yeah, anyway, this is a boring fight. I'm not gonna bore you guys. I'm gonna save you guys from the torture. This is meant to be a highlights video, so I'm gonna forward this. Alright, to the end of the fight basically. Basically to Anger Danger's fights. Okay, I've got no highlights reel for that, or should I say I've got no saving grace video for Omega Red because that's as good as it could have gotten. It is what it is. That fight, that's basically what you can do. That's the only thing you can do when facing Sentinel with Omega Red. Nothing much else I could have done. Okay, so for Anger Danger's fight, to win this series, he had to was using Guardian against Doom, and all he had to do was basically a very simple strategy. All he had to do was build up to 2 times SP3s, lock in, alright, all those, what do you call it? I forgot the name for that, but something like shield charges, and yep, Dr. Doom is dead. So over here, what he did over there was well-timed blocks on special attacks. Alright, whenever Guardian has an armor up buff, basically it causes all those special attack hits to be well-timed blocks as well. So, what does that mean? As you saw there, he took 0 damage from all those SP2 um, beam attacks, so to speak. Alright, so Guardian, such a solid champion. The benefit of this, he didn't even need what you saw over there. Let's take a look at that again. He didn't even need to do any proper evades, alright, on Doctor Doom. Just basically treat all those beam attacks like how you normally conduct or perform a parry on normal physical or contact attacks. Once again, alright, simple as that. Alright, so all of you can actually use the same tactic. In fact, this is how you want to be playing Guardian. Ideally, the proper way to play Guardian is whenever you're facing any of those projectile-based or even physical contact-based special attacks, just go in for those perfect blocks. Just try to parry those special attack hits. Guardian's gonna do the job for you. You're gonna get 0 damage, and an added perk or bonus is that this also allows him to gain 10% power. Alright, 10% of a bar of power with each perfect block landed. So it builds up quickly to his SP3. Right, I do believe at this point it's 2 SP3s in the bag, so all he needs to do right now to get down Doctor Doom with a quick burst of burst damage from his SP2, alright, is to throw it out as soon as possible with all those Guardian charges still intact. You want to ideally have like what 12 to 15 charges thereabouts. So when you throw it, okay, it's coming soon. All right, so at this point, yep, When you throw it over here, that's right, even though Doctor Doom is shock immune, but the burst damage, the additional energy damage, pushed him beyond the threshold for Anger Danger to take this fight and the series as well. So, this is where the perfect counter as well as proper Guardian play came into play, and this was what sealed the win for Anger Danger. Alright, so all of us, as you can see, even though we have this, whenever we win any fight or have any fight in the bag, we basically still continue going on because why? We still want to put on a good show for all you guys out there. So no way, he could have actually just committed so-called seppuku, or suicide over there, and just basically dropped the controller, so to speak, because the fight was already sealed, the win was already sealed. But no, he wanted to win it properly, do it properly, because ultimately, we've all got to be professional for your entertainment. All right. Okay, so on to this was how Anger Danger took this series. The series went to Anger Danger. The ultimate display of skill from him. All right, if I could have lost to anybody, I couldn't have asked for a better person to lose to. All right, so once again, props to you, my boy. Props to you, Anger Danger. Respect all to you. You are one hell of a competitor, one hell of a fighter. It was my honor to have faced off against you, and you fully deserve that win. All right. So, next one. Okay, so after this, of course, after Series 1, we have Anger Danger in the lead. So, for Anger Danger to qualify for the finals, as you saw, he just needed to beat basically just get one more series win and he would have locked it in. So, for me, my every intention was after that Series 1 that was really, how to say, was really unfortunate and quite disappointing, frankly, for me. I said to myself that for Series 2, this was key to my redemption. I had to redeem a semblance of honor for myself in Series 2 this time. So, yeah, I would say in Series 2, the pressure, even more pressure, was on my shoulders this time over here. Okay, so, alright, let me know if the overlay, or should I say the audio, is a bit too loud in terms of the actual video, of the background video of the Summoner Showdown. Let me know, guys. I want to check. Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me properly? Can you hear me speaking properly? Is it just the right amount of volume over here? Or is it still a bit too soft? Let me know. I'd like to see in the comment section. Let me know. Okay, so anyways, in the next series, up against Abdu over here. Abdu's from Seoul, South Korea. So anyways, when I first saw Abdu, he reminded me of, because I follow quite a bit of football, so I thought, hey, I mean, this looks a bit like Park Ji-sung, Ji-sung Park, or even, all right, Son Heung-min from Spurs. So it was quite honored to face South Korean players because Abdo being South Korean, I was well aware that South Korean players, I mean, you know what I mean. In terms of online gaming, they are so good. All right, in terms of any form of gaming, they are some of the top, some of the ultimate players in the world. So for me to face off against an actual South Korean, all right, this was super hype for me. I was so excited. So anyway, mainly for this phase over here, we were going up against, yeah, those were all the defenders, all the bands that we chose. Once again, no originality there. I already saw how awesome Weapon X Wolverine was against Void mainly because you can't petrify Weapon X Wolverine, and it's going to take a really long time to get his health down. So I knew he was a good choice as a defender. So anyways, yeah, for me, when I saw what was happening there when Magic was picked to go up against Guardian, I was like, whoa, This is gonna be finally. This is gonna be. I'm gonna have a stroke of luck. All right, relying of course on a bit of luck, but that was such a good matchup for me. I was quite pleased with that when I saw it. And just to give you a bit of background, why did I choose Guardian for that fight? Because of what I witnessed in the third round of Series 1, when Guardian, being used by Anger Danger, went up against Doctor Doom. I witnessed a Guardian masterclass. I witnessed how suitable, alright, Guardian, how perfect he was as an attacker to counter pretty much whichever defenders were trigger happy in throwing specials at you, especially projectile based specials, which would normally do a lot of chip damage. So that's why I went for Guardian this time, because I wanted to use him myself and enjoy the fruits of some Guardian labor. Alright, so first up was Anger Danger against Weapon X Wolverine. Of course, I was well aware that a repeat of what we saw in the very first fight of Series 1 when Anger Danger was using Void against Weapon X as well wasn't going to happen again, because by now our nerves had more or less settled already. We were no longer as nervous before, because right now we had more or less gotten used to the format of the Summoner Showdown, and we were, simply put, we were more composed at this point in time. So, with composure, of course, comes the ability to put on a better showing. Just like how great power comes great responsibility. Alright, okay. Poor analogy there, boys. But anyways, yeah, composure is so important over here because it allows you to play properly this time, not to be affected by your nervousness, to be able to pull off whatever you want to pull off, whatever you want to do. Everything is allowed to go according to plan when you have more composure. You're not panicking, you're able to basically pull off whatever's going through your mind this time. Of course, that's not to say that we would still be able to, so how to say, be able to weed out or be able to prevent any careless mistakes or unforced errors like what we saw over there, right? Because at this point in time, especially under these high pressure fights, sometimes we tend to go into a little bit of tunnel vision and we lose sight of the overall picture. So that's also something that's very important in such high level competition as well. You need to be able to see the big picture. You need to have something like what I'd like to say, a telescopic or panoramic view of everything that's happening. Because the danger is, yes, focus is good, all right, like how Anger Danger, or in this case Abdu over here, was so focused on maintaining the proper momentum and proper rotations against um, Weapon X Wolverine whenever he went unstoppable and trying to intercept him. But if one becomes too much focus, or should I say, if one becomes too focused, he loses sight, and it's easy for those unforced errors to creep in, like what happened when he was cornered against the wall. I mean, I can speak for him. I'm sure that he was like, "What the hell, man? That wasn't supposed to happen." All right, and thankfully, of course, over here it shows you what kind of a player he is, because he did not let that minor setback or that hiccup during the fight affect him, like how easily it can affect most of us and cause us to basically throw this fight. So this is once again a true testament to his mental and testicular fortitude, that he didn't let that setback get the better of him. Once again, the consummate ultimate professional over here, he just carries on as if, yeah, so what if that happened? Doesn't matter. I'm just gonna do my best. And basically, he had, at this point in time, as you can see, he had Wolverine Weapon X's number. He had his number alright. He was gonna take him down. That's for sure. He was like, wow, okay, this was one of the most awesome Void fights I've ever seen in my life, because a minute and 20 seconds in, Weapon X Wolverine was already down to less than 40% health. Once again, wait out that, yeah, you see over here, I knew what he was trying to do. He was gonna wait out that 4 seconds of unstoppable there by just evading or daxing back, looking for an opening, whenever Wolverine just backs off into his own corner, he would just go in, hit into his block, buy himself more time, and look for openings to do an intercept. So, if that didn't happen at that very end over there, that very point, once again, when we look at this replay, okay, he would definitely have been able, I do believe, for sure, 100%, I guarantee, he would have been able to down Weapon X Wolverine in the remaining 1 minute and 15 seconds. That's for sure. All right. Hey, hey, cool, cool, cool. Thank you for joining in. Yeah, these are my reactions. So I thought I'd let the viewers know exactly what was going through my mind, my feelings, my sentiments, my thoughts when I was actually doing the fights and witnessing all these awesome, ultra fantastic displays of skill and showmanship. So, in a way, I'm also trying to speak for my fellow competitors as well, like trying to let the viewers know what what could have been going through their minds as well, or what could possibly have been going through their minds as we were all competing against each other as well. So the main thing is this. Yeah, okay. Back to the fight itself. No, nothing much to talk about here actually. With you just want to do the bread and butter rotations, try to parry all those special attack hits if you can to give yourself an extra bonus power meter boost of 10% a bar of power and also trigger that perfect block. But hey, I mean with Magic, why this fight was so perfect for Guardian was because Guardian has this innate ability whereby he reduces any energy damage received by a huge, significant amount. So, Limbo Bimbo, better luck next time. Those Limbos were hardly doing any damage to me. If this were any champion, or rather, if this were any other champion that was going up against Magic, especially when those Limbos proc, hey, the fight would have been over within the first 30 seconds. So yeah, this was where it was. Alright, I decided to throw out at SP2. I knew for a fact that because Magic doesn't have resistance to shock, unlike Doctor Doom that just one, instead of two SP3s, just one SP3 to build up 6 charges would be good enough to take down Magic, and it was. Right, the only thing that I was a bit nervous about when I threw out that last SP2 at the end of the fight was that I was hoping that I threw it out at number one the right time, that was still within the limbo duration, so she wouldn't heal back all that damage, and I'd be like, oh, what the hell? And okay, that would have been bad for me because I already exhausted an armor up buff when I threw out that SP2. And number two, also, I was hoping that indeed it was gonna be just the right amount of damage, or yeah, hopefully overkill to down Magic at a point in time. And hey, it all worked out, so I was pretty pleased with myself. Got a proper first fight in the bag this time. Nerves didn't affect me at this stage, so for the next fight, I was trying my best to, after that round that went pretty well, to keep the momentum going and to see how well I could do. Because once again, I was being very mindful. I was trying to tell myself that, okay, round one's in the bag, just like in Series 1, I had this already. What actually went through my mind as I was picking my bands at this stage ahead of round 2 was I was thinking ahead, in fact, way, way, way too ahead, in that I was trying to anticipate or trying to look into the future in anticipation of how I could wrap up round 2 and in doing so wrap up this series as well. But that's also a mistake, guys. In high level competition, you've got to live in the here and now. You cannot, or you should not. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I've learned my mistake. You should never ever look too far ahead in the future. Never count your chickens before they hatch. You gotta live in the here and now. Focus on what you gotta do to get the win, to get the job done. Don't sidetrack yourself. Don't distract yourself by, yeah, anticipating what's gonna happen. All right, you shouldn't do that. Okay. So yeah, we picked our bands already, and over here, all right. The reason why I picked Apocalypse was okay. This I can tell you is one reason and one simple reason alone. Would you be able to guess take a guess first before I reveal the answer. Why did I pick Apocalypse? Why? Was it because I knew he was going to be an awesome attacker, or was there any other reason as to why I was going to pick Apocalypse for attack? What do you think? I'm gonna let you think about it for a while before I reveal the actual reason. Anyway, yeah, Apocalypse was gonna go up against Doctor Doom, and for Anger Danger, or rather, Abdu. For Abdu, he picked G99. Right when I saw that, I was initially okay. She's gonna need some time to ramp herself up to 100 hits for big damage. I'm gonna pick Annihilus because I was hopeful that this would be a super awful and irritating fight for him in terms of Annihilus going unstoppable whenever he armor breaks or whenever his hits come into contact with G99 causes that armor break. And what's that other special ability that he causes on her? Alright, at this point in time, there's so many abilities to remember, but I forgot. Yeah, but you know what I mean. He will go unstoppable when he has that special um, ability, especially when his cosmic control rod is still up on her. So this is, I mean, I'm sure back in the day, and even now, a lot of us still find Annihilus to be such an irritating and bad matchup to go up against, especially in the corner where he can basically not only corner, or rather, not only combo you into oblivion, but corner you to your tomb. So over here, as the fight goes, my first fight with Apocalypse, I was trying to do as many intercepts as I could as the fight began, trying to take as little block damage as possible, so evaded that first SP2. No way I could actually have eaten any block damage from that SP2, unlike Guardian. Because Apocalypse's block proficiency isn't as high, and there's no way also based on his abilities that he could have perfect blocked those hits. So once again, yep, evaded SP2 again. And over here, yeah, my bad because um I was actually so hell bent on doing as much damage as possible. But what I should have done in hindsight is this: I should have done an SP3 to basically proc two random debuffs on Doctor Doom, right? Keep those up with maybe a cheeky, I don't know. I'm just trying to, all right, model how this fight could have gone in an alternate universe. Maybe refresh those two debuffs from the SP3 with a heavy. Don't know how I'm gonna get that in, but maybe bait Doctor Doom's heavy attacks. And whenever that happens, if I throw another special attack, that would have done more damage because those special attacks would have done more. Alright, additional energy damage whenever an opponent is already suffering from any of um, Apocalypse's personal debuffs. So, anyways, in hindsight, yeah, I mean, it's always easy to say in hindsight. It's always so easy. So, once again, most importantly, is to get it done right in the there and now. All right. But anyways, it's always still good to do an after action review so that we can learn from our own mistakes and hopefully do better in the future. That's the whole idea, isn't it? All right, boys. So yeah, that was how the fight went. I mean, that was a really bad matchup overall for Doctor Doom. What I could have done as well, I could have also tried to re-parry all those block hits that I took, as you saw over there at the end. Yeah, just by releasing my thumb, alright, at the right time and trying to re-parry as many of those hits as possible to reduce even more block damage. But I mean, whatever it is what it is. It's happened, so alright. The main thing, I can be proud that I tried my very best for that fight, and yeah, um, there's nothing much more that I could have done for that fight against Doctor Doom. Okay, so the next fight that we have is Abdu's fight this time. All right, so over here, as I was seeing Abdu fighting his fight against my defender, I was like, oh my god. The thought that was going through my mind was, okay, history is gonna repeat itself once again. I took round one, I'm gonna lose round two, and lo and behold, I should be losing round three as well, just like what happened in series one. So I was like, oh my god, history is repeating itself. I was like, why always me? It's gonna happen to me all over again. All right, so over here, okay, for this fight, we are gonna, boys, you're in for a treat. All right, I can't say this enough. We're in for a treat because this is a true masterclass of how you want to use G99 not only against Annihilus, okay, but against any other fight where you're going for all those either shallow evades or all those light intercepts. She works the charm because of her light attack, which basically allows her, or should I say, her light attack is so good because it has such a long reach, which basically allows her to extend her reach and poke any opponent that's wanting to dash in on a light intercept or doing a so-called dash in attack. And this allows her to pretty much 100% of the time land all those shallow evades and light intercepts as well. So this is basically how you want to perfectly play G99. Alright, and there's not a damn thing that Annihilus could have done about G99. As long as Abdu didn't make any unforced errors, Annihilus was dead meat. And as we all know, the rest is history for this fight, because G99, she gave no quarter. Abdul was super focused here. Alright, he was a man on a mission. He wasn't gonna go down without a fight. I'm sure in his mind he was like, damn, I'm gonna take down Satsui no Hadu. This guy, I'm not gonna let him walk over me by winning this series 2 to nothing. I'm gonna win this, and I'm gonna win this in style. That's the thing, that's the main thing. Abdo did this in style. Okay, winning a fight, basically, a win is a win. We all know that. Okay, you can win ugly, you can win well, and you can win in style. Abdo himself, he wanted to win in style. He wasn't gonna, like, say, accept just any ordinary win. Okay, so once again, as you saw over there, his mental fortitude, he got hit, but so what? Life goes on, doesn't matter. We carry on. He finishes the job over here. Alright, so once again, this guy is made of sterner steel. He's got, alright, I like to use this term, huge amounts of testicular fortitude. So over here, alright, throwing in that SP3, getting in multiple hits, pushing himself even closer to SP, or rather to that 100 hit threshold. But anyway, actually, this wouldn't have made that much of a difference because at 90 something hits, it's pretty much game over. He's doing massive amounts of hit damage and also energy damage as well, from, or rather, degen damage rather. So hey, at this point in time, Annihilus was a dead man walking. It was just a matter of time before he went down for the count. Alright, such a joy to watch. Poetry in motion, poetry in motion. Silky smooth. You couldn't have asked for a better showcase of world class. Simply world class, universal, alright, battle realm class skills that we saw there from Abdu. So the ultimate G99 player, I dare say the best G99 player in the world. Because for him to do this under such immense pressure, I mean, hey, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't be able to do this. No way. Alright, I'd have to take years and years of training to hone my craft as a G99 player. So this was simply amazing. This was yeah. More power to you, my brother. More power to you. Let's big it up for Abdu. Simply astounding, next level god tier gameplay from G99. Alright, so next up. Okay, so yeah, this was the final round. Over here, at this stage, round 3, okay, I was like really, I was like, my thoughts were, I'm gonna try my best. No way in hell, I was telling myself, no way in hell was I gonna let lightning strike twice, history repeat itself. Okay, anyway, before I forget, yeah, the reason why I chose Apocalypse initially for that fight against what was it, Doctor Doom, right? Yeah, was because there wasn't any particular reason actually. It was just because I like Apocalypse as a character. I loved him from the X-Men, the animated series cartoon. He was one of my most memorable villains when I was growing up as a kid. So there you have it, guys. That's the reason why I picked Apocalypse. But anyway, back to the matter at hand. This fight, what was going through my mind? I wasn't gonna go down without a fight. Sure as hell wasn't gonna let history repeat itself. Over here, hey, I was actually a little bit stunned because I was so beaten up by losing that second round once again that in terms of this, the first thing that just went through my mind in terms of picking a counter to Red Hulk was I was telling myself, yeah, just pick any class counter to Red Hulk. Let's go for Nick Fury since he's a class counter and he has, yeah, he goes, he has two lives. He goes into real Nick Fury, and he also goes, yeah, he does more damage when he goes into his second life, so to speak. So that was my every intention, and also, yeah, when he goes unblockable potentially, whenever he has 15 tactical charges. So that was the idea behind it, that I just wanted to give him an irritating fight, but I wasn't thinking that properly. Maybe there could have been better defenders, but hey, it is what it is. The other one, okay, for me, yeah, I picked Omega Red. Okay, same thing, like round 3, eh? Alright, just like Series 1, Omega Red once again. But this time, okay, the the very danger, okay, what we saw over there, let's rewind a bit. The risk is this. Okay, the risk is this. Or should I say, rather, no risk, because I knew this time that Sentinel was taken out of the equation. So, I picked Omega Red, and I was just looking forward to whatever defender would be chosen to try to counter Omega Red. So when I saw Spider-Man over there, I was like, okay, he's gonna be tricky. That's what I thought. In terms of his random evades and his random counter attacks, so I've got to pay special attention to that and be able to react in time so as not to get hit or clipped by any of by any of his attacks. Ugh, for that matter. The main thing over here is at this final round, I'm sure the both of us were looking to give no quarter in terms of receiving no hits. Yes, it was gonna come down to that being hitless, or rather, for both of us to not get hit whatsoever. The margins were so thin at this point in time. So, up first, Abdu's fight against Nick Fury. Basically, he had the ultimate command of space, alright? And also the ultimate command of being aware enough of when to push him over the limit of 20 tactical charges so that he wouldn't have those unblockable special ones. Alright, so over here, baits out the SP2 once again, having the awareness of basically, alright, being aware of how many tactical charges were available to Nick at this point in time. Alright, and also being aware of his own power meter so that when he threw that special one, to either push him over the limit of tactical charges or push him over the threshold of 2 bars of power so that he could easily evade that SP2. Alright, so yeah, the approach here was to never ever allow Nick to throw off an SP1 with 15 or more tactical charges, because uh, it's still possible. It's still possible to evade that SP1, but it's really difficult. It's really difficult because gotta look out for those precise audio and visual cues to be able to pull it off. So anyways, over here, alright, perfect control of spacing, pushed him into real Nick Fury, bait out that heavy attack. What he was doing over here is that he was basically letting Nick, so-called, kill himself. Alright, yeah. Because in real Nick Fury mode, Nick would actually lose health all the way until 30% health. So to speed up the process, of course, with the proper awareness once again of the amount of charges, right now he's gaining 2 times the amount of tactical charges with every hit received. So what he was doing over here was that he was doing the appropriate amount of hits and using his special attacks to not only push him to the next threshold of power, but also beyond those 20 tactical charges over there. So perfect Nick Fury gameplay over here. The proper maintenance of both tactical charge count and also managing Nick Fury's power ever so perfectly. So that was about as good as it got. The perfect Nick Fury fight over there. 0 hits received. At this point in time, I had to follow that up with my own, alright, perfect showing as well. No mistakes for me this time. I couldn't afford any mistakes. I had to show up. Yeah, that's right. So, in this case over here, I fully agree. The next fight for me, against Omega Red, alright, even though Sentinel was taken out of the equation, Warlock, Warlock would have been the next best or even better counter than Sentinel for Omega Red because if he had chosen Warlock, number one, since I'm on suicides and Omega Red was healing continuously from those bleeds on him, I would actually be ticking away and killing myself with all that regen from willpower. Number two, whatever spore damage I had, which would have worked in my favor against any other non-robotic champions, would basically be doing nothing, peanuts, to Warlock as well. So that would have been the ultimate bad matchup for Omega Red. You are correct, my friend. You are spot on, Coop. You should have chosen Warlock for that Omega Red fight. So here we go. Alright, at the start over here, I was being mindful. Okay, all those random evades, so just go in with quick fire. Light hit attacks, never end my combo with any medium. Alright, the idea was not to be greedy here, even though mediums would do more damage, but quick hits allow me to react ever so quickly just in case he does any random evade and the follow-up or subsequent counter. So that was the whole idea, to play safe but to be aggressive all at the same time. So whenever I had any openings from baiting out those heavy attacks, that's where you saw over there, that light hit attack over there, those light hits allowed me to react quickly enough so that I wasn't gonna be caught by those SP1 attacks. Okay, so whenever I had any opening, especially here, I was aware that I had 10 spore charges built up on him in close proximity. He was basically melting as long as I stayed near him as well. But I was going to use this opportunity to regen a little bit of health from this SP3. So over here, what was being done? Of course, yeah, I didn't want to just pull any stunts over there by evading those SP1s because, remember, once again, no hits to be taken. I couldn't even afford to be hit by one web ball. So once again, an opening over there. I went in for the heavy attacks I was throwing was because I was mindful that I had to keep all those spores locked in on him. Sorry, locked in on him with the Gen active as well to do even more damage so that he would melt even faster. So that was the whole fight for you. I went in for a speed kill, a merciless kill, a kill with no mistakes, a kill that was fueled by my surge of murderous intent. I was basically saying to him, in terms of what Akuma would say, die 1000 deaths! You know, from his Shungoku Satsu, that special attack from Akuma. Die 1000 deaths. So it was basically like, yeah, the what went through my mind, especially for that finisher over there, that final SP2 from Omega Red. I knew that SP2 would kill him because he was already down to his last sliver of health. And even if he did evade that SP2, the chip damage, the close proximity spore damage would have done him in. So that was precisely what I was going for. A die 1000 deaths. Search of murder's intent finish. So every intention over there, a little bit of wanting to finish him off in style as well with that special attack, multiple hits. I wasn't just gonna wait it out and allow him to die, drop dead just by all that passive spore damage or degen damage, whatever it was. All right. So yeah, that was the intention, and this fight was like okay. I was super zoned in. I was super, super focused when this fight was going on. Super in the zone. Basically, if, even if let's say World War III had started, the whole world had exploded, the whole apartment or the whole block had collapsed. Singapore was attacked by its enemies. All right, there was like a famine going on, a nuclear explosion, Chernobyl meltdown. I wouldn't have known because I was super zoned in at that point in time. But after that, yes, reality crept in once again, and I suddenly realized what had happened. So that allowed me to take the win for Series 2. Alright, and I'm very, very reluctant. I would like to voice it out once again. Very reluctantly, I stole, yes, yes, boys, I stole that win from Abdu because, in all honesty, I feel quite ashamed about sneaking in that win from under his nose because the way Abdu performed, super fantastic gameplay, the ultimate skill show from him, and the ultimate sportsman as well. Alright, he should have won. He should have beat me, hands down. I stole that from him. In no way was I deserving of taking that series from under Abdul's nose. No way. So Abdul, I want to put it out there once again. Even though I did apologize to you during the actual fight itself, but I want to say again, brother, I'm so sorry once again that I snuck this win from under you. I do hope that you can forgive me, but I am super, super honored at having witnessed your skills and having the opportunity, or having had the opportunity to go up against you. And for that, you can, or rather, for that, you have my utmost thanks, and I have become a much better player as a result of it. So thank you so much, Abdul. You are the man, the ultimate, ultimate player. I'm so happy to have met you, to have known you, and to have witnessed your skills. Thank you so much, man. Thanks, brother. Big it up. Okay, so the next one after this. Okay, this series, of course, I wasn't involved in. So this is where I'm gonna try my best to try to speak for Abdu and Anger Danger in terms of what was going through their minds as they were making their picks and as the fight was proceeding for them. So let's check out the first. Okay, so in round one for both Anger and Abdu, Anger went with flow tactics. As for Abdu, once again, yep, that's Asia for you guys. We basically picked the same tactics each and every round for all of our fights in each and every series as well. Okay, so over here, first ban of the day, Anger chose Void. Okay, so once again, yep, not to face any limbo damage, magic was taken out of the equation. Okay, so yeah, I'm very sorry that my face cam is covering up. Who you should actually be seeing here is Abdo. Abdo in my corner of the screen, actually. All right, so yeah, he's still there. He's still there. This is actually a direct feed from YouTube of the Summoner Showdown. So he's still there. He didn't go anywhere. Don't worry. No one's kidnapped him. All right, aliens didn't abduct Abdo because of his world class or out of this world skill level. He's still there. So anyway, as the bands were proceeding, we have Iron Man Infinity War and Killmonger, as well as Mojo. Okay, and also, last but not least, Symbiote Supreme as the bands for this round. So, who does Abdo choose? I mean, who else could it be? Lo and behold, alright, the master of G99 himself would only choose G99. So, a tough matchup over here. When I first saw this, whoa, Arca's Vision against G99. The problem with facing off against Arcus is whenever he's near you, he eventually has a timer that runs down and procs an armor break. And once that armor break is up on you, once he inflicts that armor break on you, as long as he's close to you, you suffer from frostbite damage. So it's not a good time. Not a good time facing Vision Arcus. Basically, you got to play possum a lot against him. You've got to try your best, number one, to prevent that armor break from proccing. Or number two, if it does proc, try your best to stay away until that armor break wears off because you don't want to be taking that DOT from frostbites or cold snap, whatever it is. Okay, it's all the same to me. Both are due to the cold weather. Anyway, so um, over here, Abdu will be going up first against Vision Arcus in this fight. Alright, Coop, see you soon, man. But nah, it's actually afternoon time for me. Asian time, actually. 2:36 p.m. in the afternoon. For you, Coop, I guess it's bedtime, right? If I'm not wrong. Yeah, so get to bed, head to bed early, buddy. I'll see you when you wake up. Alright, because, yeah, Coop is from California, actually. So thank you so much for popping in. Really appreciate it. And you can watch the rest of this when this is available on demand. Alright, so good night, Coop. I'll see you soon. Okay, so anyway, Abdu, masterclass of a fight against Vision Arcus. What he's doing over here is once again, alright, trying his very best. Okay, you see over here, the thing is, okay, most of the time, okay, that SP2 over there, it can be evaded fully, but it's quite difficult, especially under these high pressure situations. So what he did over there was, even though Vision Arcus was not ideally pushed to SP2, but you can block the initial few hits, take very little chip damage, and then evade the second half of it. So the key idea here for this fight is the approach that he was employing was he was going to make use of Vision Arcus's power gain buffs to push himself automatically to SP1 and just like that, all right, Babe Ruth baseball bat hit, all right, hit a home run and push Vision Arcus further away from G99. Okay, so the other thing is, yeah, he had to adopt an entirely different approach, like how he fought against Annihilus, in that you can't really do any shallow evades against Vision Arcus because the attack animations, especially for his SP2, they don't go in that deep. So shallow evades only work on deep lying SP2s. Right, so what you want to do is anytime, right, he has those power gain buffs, which he should have quite a bit of. In fact, maximum stacks as the fight goes on. This allows him to push himself automatically to SP1. So all you need to do is bait out the SP1, keep away from it. Once it's over, just hit that home run and push Vision Arcus to the other corner of the screen. And once again, even if he goes to an SP2, bait it out, alright, block the first half of it and evade or dex the second half so that you take minimal damage. So that was the whole fight over here for you. And the other important aspect of this was those heavy attacks allowed Abdo to build up all those combo shield charges as well to allow him to tank, alright, those few, a maximum of basically 6 hits before he loses his combo that he took so much effort to build up, because G99, she relies on so much on building up that combo meter. Okay, and last but not least, the last saving grace for G99 is of course the very fact that once she reaches the threshold of 25% health remaining, she goes into regen. That's right. So, alright, so as you can see over there, that combo shield over there came into play, and it was so, I wouldn't even say useful. Useful is an understatement. That was the ultimate Hail Mary, so to speak. Because if not for those combo shields, his combo would have dropped down back to 0, and this fight wouldn't have gone so fast. In fact, he would have had to start all again from square one, and he'd be doing the most minute amount of peanuts damage. So yeah, alright, so once again, blocking that SP2, taxing in the second half. Right now, Vision Arcus is basically dead meat. There's only so much health left for him, the final 30% thereabouts or so. And yep, going in for one SP3 over here to basically get in a few more hits, build at the combo meter, right, more efficiently, because the one drawback about this method, of course, it's the best way to play against Vision Arcus, that home run method by doing those heavy attack baseball bat hits, is that they're only one hit. So if he wanted to build up combo meter, yeah, best to throw in that SP3 as well to get in good 4 to 5 hits for even more damage. Okay, so approaching 100 hits right now, I do believe Arcus would actually go down even before Abdu reaches 100 hits. So the fight is almost over, and that's it. Another masterclass from G99, controlled by Abdul over here. Ultimate fight, right? Nothing more that you could ask for in terms of pure G99 entertainment. Alright, so these are all, of course, responding to the DHRA show. Your question was, is the AI or live? Is this AI or live duel? Okay, I don't really get what you mean, but yeah, this is all AI, of course. Aggressive AI, boss level AI. Was this live? Yes, all this was captured live. This was in front of live judges. Alright, this was in fact done live, yes. So what you saw in the actual broadcast, the only thing that was so-called changed was the boring parts, the parts that were a bit too draggy, that was edited out. But other than that, everything was live. Okay, rest assured, okay, even though I said boring, unnecessary parts that were edited out, right? The other thing is, alright, rest assured, guys, that none of us, we spewed any vulgarities or let on any f bombs and all that. We were all proper competitors and proper gentlemen. All right. So Kabam didn't have to trouble itself to bleep us, so to speak. Okay. Anyways, all right. So yeah, up next is Abdu's fight. Okay, so to follow that up, yeah, basically he's going up against Tigra over here using Quake. Okay, and after seeing this, I decided to also try to replicate this myself. And all I can say is, wow, once again, what a masterclass of quaking this is. Even though this is more or less along the lines of conventional quaking, with heavy dex, heavy, or evade dex, evade. But the thing is, for Tigra, because of her two-hit first heavy attacks, or rather, her first medium attack is 2 hits. What you need to do is whenever she lunges towards you with that first medium, that 2-hit medium, you wanna pause for a microsecond, a split second, before you do your follow-up decks after that first heavy. After you charge up that first heavy, I mean. You wanna pause for a while, as you see over there. Pause for a while here, pause for a while before you dex. Because if you pause too, or should I say if you dex too soon rather, you'd actually leave yourself open to getting clipped. For instance, if she does another follow-up medium attack after that first medium, you're gonna get clipped if you dex too soon. So you wanna, yeah, you don't want to um, dex too soon, or you don't want to hold heavy for too short a time. If you know what I mean, if you understand what I mean, the quakers out there will know what I mean. So after that heavy, when that first evade is procced, you wanna dex a split second later, not too soon, not immediately. Okay, so don't go too trigger happy with normal quaking when facing Tigra. The other thing is this, you've got to also be aware, even in the corner over there, not only when she dashes towards you with that first medium attack, the other thing that can easily trip you up is if she does a random first medium attack mid combo. Yeah, yeah, mid combo. That's gonna really mess up your timing because, alright, I've tried this on Tigra as well. I managed to get quite a few perfect fights, so to speak, but yet again also quite a few fights that did not go well. So quaking against Tigra is not as simple as it looks, or it's not as easy as it looks. It's really difficult. So many things can go wrong. You have to be aware of her doing all those medium attacks mid combo. That's really gonna mess up your quick timing. Alright. Because her animations basically cause you to automatically double um, evade, so to speak. So that's really gonna mess you up. The other thing is for Tigra as well against Quake. Alright, what you want to do is, yeah, especially against the stun immune boss Tigra that you just saw there in the showdown. that's actually going to work in, or that actually worked in Abdu's or Anger Danger's favor because whenever Quake procs any concussions, especially when Tigra is supposed to be stunned, so to speak. But when those concussions are procced on Tigra, even though she's stun immune, those long-lasting 5-second concussions, those work in Quake's favor because that allows Quake to basically auto-evade all those normal hits from Tigra. So basically, at that point, even though Tigra wasn't stunned, Anger Danger didn't have to worry so much about being aware of those midstream first medium attacks that could possibly or could have potentially messed up his quick timing. So what I'm getting at is, in fact, if Tigra was stunnable, it would actually have in a way been a harder fight because you would be open to more midstream combos and wouldn't have the benefit of the 5-second concussion during the stun immune phase to proc all those auto evades for you. Yeah. Okay, so overall, a very, very difficult fight. All right. Hands down, a quick masterclass that we saw against Tiger over there. Hands down. Okay, so lastly, or should I say for round two, over here, round two, first up, we were having Human Torch against Weapon X Wolverine. This is who I believe Anger Danger was going up against, using his torch against Wolverine. And I do believe, yes, we are in for a treat this fight as well. Okay, so the main idea here is that, yeah, Human Torch. I mean, if he had switched on his pre-fight ability for, yeah, um, perma Nova Flames throughout the fight, this would have made the fight go much faster in terms of because Nova Flames are passive and there's, yeah, because Wolverine is not affected by abilities that reverse his healing or reduce healing. So if he had activated the pre-fight ability for Nova Flames instead, this would have done way, way, way more damage and melted Wolverine Weapon Axe even faster. Instead of relying on just the normal Incinerates would, which in this case, yeah, would not be able to reverse any healing whatsoever. So anyways, even without pre-fight, as you can see over here, yeah, the fight is still proceeding very, very smoothly. Okay, but here was an unforced error. I'm sure he did not mean for that to happen. His every intention was just to bait out that unstoppable phase, or that, if we go back again, let me see what exactly happened. In hindsight, this is where I have the benefit of replays. So the reason why Anger Danger got hit over there was because, let's take a look once again. At this point in time, the fight was proceeding ever so smoothly, and Unstoppable was procced over there. His every intention was to, yeah, look for an opening where basically he was trying to dax Wolverine's medium attacks and look for an opening where when he dashes back into the corner, that he could basically, yeah, push him back and control the distance once again. Alright, so yeah, major unforced error over there. I'm sure if he did not get clipped in such close proximity to Weapon X, he would have closed out this fight, in fact, because he had still quite a bit of time left on the timer. And the thing is, yes, that was the proper way to play against Weapon X Wolverine, to look for openings, for intercepts, push him back into the corner with by hitting into his block and baiting out those specials and punishing those specials. Okay, on to the next fight. Okay, wait. Okay, this was a bit that was fast forward there. Some time lapse nonsense shenanigans going on over there. Okay, so let's take a look once again. Proper look at the next fight that Abdu is up against. And in this fight, yeah, okay. Super bad matchup over here. Abdu is up against yeah. There's nothing more than there's nothing more that he could do in this fight actually because he is using Nick Fury going up against Elsa Bloodstone. So basically, she's just gonna let it go, let it rip whenever she gets a bleed inflicted upon her. With that massive amounts of, or with those massive amounts of degen damage. So the whole idea over here was, yeah, Abdu over there. I mean, his every intention was, of course, not to proc too many bleeds on her, but he had the safety of knowing that at least this would, or rather, the life model decoy would be able to absorb that initial damage. But now at this stage over here, at this phase, real Nick Fury, I mean, he was, I would say he was really stuck in a conundrum. There was, even knowing, let's say, even if we had known any of these fights days in advance or had more time to prepare, would it have made any difference also? I this is what I'm saying. Even if Kabam had given, say, any of us 1 month to prepare in advance, even though this was done live on the spot, all right. Even if we had the hindsight, the benefit of hindsight, to prepare for this 1 month in advance, there's nothing you could do because that's how Elsa Bloodstone works. You you bleed her, you're dead meat, and that's how Nick Fury works as well. Fine, he could have done 3 light attacks, backed himself into the corner, but what purpose would that have served? What kind of damage would that have allowed him to dish out? Wouldn't have made a difference. So overall, this fight was totally out of his control. It was unwinnable. But props to Abdu. All right, he of course didn't go down without a fight, and he showed us how it is to go down fighting. So ultimate respect for that, even. All right, even though that's a fight that was made in hell, it was a match made in hell, but he made the best of it. So yeah, I mean, no amount of preparation, no amount of so-called foresight, yeah, foresight would have allowed anybody, not, let alone Abdul, anybody in the world to prepare for that fight. Okay, next one. All right, so yeah. All right, is that it? I mean, that's is that it? Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay. All right. Yes, the thing is, I got ahead of myself because I wasn't involved in this series, so I lost track of the amount of fights that had already been fought or number of rounds that had been fought in this series. But the highlights for Series 3 were, of course, Abdul's fight against Arcus Vision using once again G99. I mean, that was fantastic play over there. What else can I say? Best G99 player in the world, hands down. Okay, show me, guys. If you guys know of any G99 player, which I'm sure doesn't exist in the world, do let me know because for me, Abdo, you are my number one G99 player. And also, all credit goes to Anger Danger. Alright, more power to you, bro. Good series that you had with the both of us, Abdu and me. You truly deserved being the winner of Asia. And, alright, I hope to see you do your very best and bring home the title when it comes to the finals against the very best in Europe and America. So basically, guys, that's it for me. And do stay tuned, of course, do stay tuned for more amazing Marvel Contest of Champions content. I'm going to be doing actually the live stream of Act 7 on day 1 when it drops. More or less, we're going to go for a 100% run that very day itself within the first 24 hours. So catch that. That's going to be a treat, and I'm going to do my very best to make sure it's both entertaining and informative for that X sorry, for that Act 7 live stream on day one. The very first minute it drops, we're gonna go live. And also, do be sure to tune in to the third semi-final, the European semi-finals, dropping in a few days' time later this week. We're gonna be in for a treat when we witness SWAT U go up against. Okay, really apologize. I forgot the name of the other European competitor, but SWAT U, I know him personally. We've been speaking quite a bit. All right, SWAT U and the other European competitor that he's going up against in the third semi-final for Europe. It's gonna be it's gonna be a treat. Hopefully, it's gonna follow the same standard as what we witnessed for the Americas and the Asia region as well. So stay tuned. Let's check out the third semi-final when it drops. So in the meantime, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it for tuning in. And before you leave, if you like what you saw, if you like this thoughts and reactions and breakdown video on the Asian semi-finals, please, it's really gonna help me out a lot. Please leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification button to stay alerted for when my next video drops. So this has been Satsui no Haru, aka Sats, and I'm signing off, but you take care, and I'm gonna see you real soon. Peace out.